Hello guys, myself Sandeep Kumar Sinha. Welcome back once again to my channel with some of the important multiple choice questions of the unit government budget and the Indian economy. As you all know that there is a change in the pattern of board assumptions. Now the board assumptions would be in two parts. Term 1 in the month of November, December and term 2 in the month of March or April. Term 1 would cover only multiple choice questions and would be of 90 minutes duration. So in this very video, I will cover the 50 important multiple choice questions of the unit government budget and the Indian economy. And so far as theory related to that unit government budget is concerned, you just have to click the I button given at the top. Then you go through the theory if you have any confusion about any of the part, and even though there is a doubt, then you can write in the comment box and I will try to just solve your problem. So now let us have a look at those 50 important questions. First question relates with the meaning of government budget. Means what is budget? It is an annual financial statement of estimated receipt and expenditures of the government. Now the second question is when is budget presented? Means budget present कब होता है? पहले ये 28 फरवरी को होता था हर साल. Now it is 1st February every year. The answer therefore here it is C. Now the third question is what are those estimated receipts of the government which neither create a liability nor cause a reduction in assets? Answer is B, that is revenue receipts. Now question 4, what are those estimated receipts which either create a liability, that is burden of payment, or cause a reduction in assets, means जो संपत्ति घटा देता है? तो answer is capital receipts. Now the fifth question is which statement is not true, means false, गलत है for revenue receipts. So we find that all these three A, B, C are true statements. Therefore answer here is none of these. Now the question 6 is which statement is not true, that is false, galat hai for capital receipt. Here all the three statements A, B and C are true with respect to capital receipts. Therefore answer is none of these, that is D. Now the question 7 is that a non-tax revenue does not include, means non-tax revenue में कौन सा component include नहीं होता है. यहाँ पर A, B, C all the three components are included in non-tax revenue. Therefore answer is D. Now the 8th question is when the liability to pay the tax and the burden of tax falls on the same person. मतलब अगर जिस व्यक्ति पर टैक्स लगा अगर वही व्यक्ति टैक्स पे करता है तो वो टैक्स क्या कहलाता है? तो आंसर इज डायरेक्ट टैक्स, दैट इज ए. नाउ द क्वेश्चन नंबर 9 इज डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस आर प्रोग्रेसिव टैक्सेस और रिग्रेसिव टैक्सेस. माने ये टैक्स रिग्रेसिव है या प्रोग्रेसिव है? आंसर इज ए, दैट इज प्रोग्रेसिव टैक्स. मीन्स द रेट ऑफ टैक्सेशन गोज ऑन इंक्रीजिंग विथ इंक्रीज इन इनकम, दैट इज आंसर इज ए. Question number 10 states that when the liability to pay a tax is on one person and the burden of tax falls on other person. मतलब टैक्स किसी और पर लगता है और पेमेंट कोई और करता है तो वो टैक्स कौन सा टैक्स कहलाता है? आंसर इज इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स, दैट इज बी. Now the question 11, those estimated expenditures will neither create an asset nor cause a reduction in liability. मतलब जो संपत्ति भी नहीं बनाता और liability नहीं घटाता वैसे खर्च को क्या कहते हैं? आंसर इज बी, दैट इज रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर. Now those expenditure which either create an asset, मतलब जो संपत्ति का निर्माण करता है, या cause a reduction in liability, जो liability घटाता है, वैसे खर्च को क्या कहते हैं? आंसर इज ए, दैट इज कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर. नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 13, which of the following are not the components of capital receipts? मतलब इनमें से कौन सा कंपोनेंट कैपिटल रिसीट्स का नहीं है? ए, बी, सी, हियर ऑल आर द कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ कैपिटल रिसीट्स. देयरफॉर आंसर इज डी, दैट इज नन ऑफ दीज. Now question number 14, recovery of loans is capital receipts. Why? Because answer is C, because it causes a reduction in assets due to stop of interest receipt. Now the next question is repayment of loans is a capital expenditure because जब भी हम लोन्स पेमेंट करते हैं तो लायबिलिटी घट जाता है. That's why answer is B, that is because it causes reduction in liability. Now the next question is interest receipt is revenue receipt because interest receipt on amount of loans न तो ये liability create करता है और न ही संपत्ति घटाता है. इसलिए आंसर्स होगा दोनों, बोथ A and B, that is answer is C. Now the next question is interest payment is revenue expenditure because इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट न तो लायबिलिटी घटाता है और न ही एसेट क्रिएट करता है. देयरफॉर आंसर इज सी, बोथ ए एंड बी. नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज it refers to the claims of the government on the property of a person who dies without having leaving behind a legal heir or a will. What does it mean? The answer is B, that is escheats. Now the next question is which of the following is capital expenditure? So option A, salary paid, revenue expenditure, pension paid, revenue expenditure, interest paid is revenue expenditure. Now the answer is D, that is expenditure on construction of metro railway. Now the question number 20, which of the following is capital receipt? Here answer is C, that is sale of 40% shares of public sector undertakings to private enterprises, which is termed as disinvestment. Therefore it is answer number C. Now the question number 21 is dividend received from public sector undertaking is a part of government. Means into which part it is included? The answer is A, that is non-tax revenue receipts में हम include करते हैं तो dividend आता है. Now the next question is which of the following is revenue receipts? Here in the answers A, B and D are the components of capital receipts. Therefore answer is C, that is profit of LIC, which is a non-tax revenue receipt. Now the next question is which of the following is not an objective of government budget? मतलब government budget का objective इसमें कौन नहीं है? Here A, B, C all are the objectives of government budget. Therefore answer is D, none of these. Now the next question is an excess of total expenditure over total receipt during a fiscal year. What is it called? The answer is C, that is budget deficit, which is an excess of total expenditure over total receipt. Now the question number 25, what is the excess of total expenditure over total receipt excluding borrowings? means borrowings को छोड़कर receipt से जितना भी total expenditure excess है उसे क्या कहते हैं? Answer is fiscal deficit, that is B. Now question number 26, what is an excess of revenue expenditure over revenue receipt? रेवेन्यू रिसीट से जितना भी एक्सेस है रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर उसे क्या कहते हैं? तो आंसर इज सी, रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट. नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, an excess of borrowings over interest payment is called. What does it mean? Whatever be the excess of borrowing, that is fiscal deficit over interest payment, that is called as primary deficit. Therefore answer is D. Now the question number 28, if total estimated receipt is more than expenditure, मतलब अगर receipt expenditure से अधिक है तो बजट कैसा होगा? Answer is surplus budget, that is it is B. Now the question number 29, if total estimated receipt is less than expenditure, then what is the type of budget? मतलब अगर receipt expenditure से कम है तो कैसा बजट होगा? Answer is C, that is it is a deficit budget. Now question number 30, if total estimated receipt is equal to expenditure, मतलब अगर receipt और expenditure दोनों बराबर होगा तो कैसा बजट होगा? It is a balanced budget, that is here it is answer is A. Now the question number 31, if it is a balanced budget then what is the condition? The answer is C, fiscal deficit should be equal to borrowings. Whenever these two are equal then it is a situation of balanced budget. Now the question number 32, if it is a surplus budget, then what is the condition? Answer is B, fiscal deficit should be less than borrowings and then only there is a surplus budget. Therefore answer is B. Next question is, if it is a deficit budget, then what is the condition? Answer is A, fiscal deficit would be more than borrowings, then there is a deficit budget. That is answer A. Question number 34 is about the calculation of revenue deficit, which is revenue expenditure minus revenue receipt. Here revenue expenditure is 1800, receipt is 1500, difference is 300 crores. Answer is C. Now the question number 35, which of the following statements is not true? Here all the three statements A, B and C with respect to fiscal deficits are true. And none of these statement is false. Therefore answer is none of these, that is D. Now the question number 36, which of the following statements is not true for fiscal deficit? So A, B, C, all the three statements are true, but the statement D is not true. It is not always inflationary. That's why answer is D. Now the next question is fiscal deficit can be met through, मतलब fiscal deficit को कैसे पूरा कर सकते हैं? तो borrowings and deficit financing both ways. Therefore answer is C, that is A and B. Now the question number 38, if fiscal deficit is equal to interest payment, then which of the following statement is true? The fiscal deficit and interest payment difference of the two is primary deficit, and therefore primary deficit is equal to 0. Answer is A. Now the question number 39 is, if revenue deficit is 15,000 rupees and borrowings is 20,000, then what is fiscal deficit? We know that fiscal deficit is equal to borrowings, and therefore answer is D, that is rupees 20,000. Question number 40 is, if interest payment liability is 0, then which of the statement is true? We know that primary deficit is equal to fiscal deficit minus interest payment, and if interest payment is 0, then primary deficit is equal to fiscal deficit. That is answer is here B. Question number 41, if primary deficit is 0, then which statement is true? We know that primary deficit is equal to fiscal deficit minus interest payment, and if fiscal deficit is equal to interest payment, then only primary deficit is equal to 0. Therefore answer is A. Now the question number 42 is, if the budget deficit is 12,000 crore and borrowings is rupees 10,000 crore, then what is the fiscal deficit? Answer is sum total of the two, that is C, 22,000 crores. Now the question 43, we have to calculate fiscal deficit, which is just equal to borrowing requirements, and borrowings is equal to capital receipt minus the sum total of recovery of loans and disinvestment. That is answer is here B, that is 1,35,000 crore. Now in question 44, we have to find out the borrowing by the government, which is just equal to fiscal deficit, and fiscal deficit is equal to primary deficit plus interest payment. So primary deficit can be calculated at 1,50,000 crores and interest is 15,000 crores. Therefore answer is A, that is 165,000. Question 45 says that if borrowings and other liabilities are added to budget deficit, then what we get? Answer is A, that is fiscal deficit. Now the question number 46, what is government budget? It is a statement of estimated receipts and expenditures during a fiscal year. Answer is C. Now the question number 47, what does primary deficit indicates? Answer is C. It indicates an excess of, that is, borrowing requirements over interest payment liability on the past loans taken by the government. Now the question number 48, the same as the question number 47 but in different words. Primary deficit equals, answer is C, borrowings minus interest payment. Now the question number 49 relates to the meaning of disinvestment. Answer is B, that is selling of shares of public sector undertakings held by the government. Now the question number 50 relates to numericals on the calculation of fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit is equal to borrowing requirement. Therefore answer is B, that is 20 lakhs.